Nothing was wrong at first. She started regressing in preschool. People ask us, her and her father and I, is it hard? We always say no. But living in this world without a voice, that's hard. That's very hard.
Hello, my name is McKenzie Tuckson. I am a fashion-forward graduated senior at Whites Creek High School. I am from Nashville, Tennessee. I am a sixth-year varsity cheerleader, president of my junior and senior class, Wesley Rice Advocate of the Year for the state of Tennessee, and a student ambassador for the Nashville Public School System.
Wow, that is awesome. How are you doing today?
How are you doing? So she's going to use her multiple ways to communicate so we can show people different ways that she uses. So this was her Toby at first. She was talking with, but she's programmed some things on here too.
Okay.
She says she's doing great.
So cool. I know they're different technologies. So how does she control each? Are they all tactily controlled? She pushes buttons or?
Okay. So on this one right here, this is the Toby. It's an eye gaze system as well as touch. So she was able to touch it. And
hello, my name is McKenzie Tuckson. I am a fashion-forward graduated senior at Whites Creek High School.
So you can touch it, or she can use her eyes to navigate the page.
Yes, that is so cool. I know with the Rett Syndrome, eye gazing technology has really been helpful. So
this is the exact same device that Superman used when he had his accident on the horse. This is what he used to communicate with.
So cool. Well, Miss Tamara, I don't want to forget you too. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. And I'm honored to be on the show today.
Oh, thank you. We're honestly honored to have you. You're Mackenzie's mom, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And Mackenzie, how old are you?
I am 18 years old.
Oh, okay. And I know a lot of our contestants have been Next Step students. Do you know about Next Steps?
She does know about Next Steps. We were taking one college at a time to apply for, and so we have applied for David Libscomb, the Ideal program, waiting on a response to see how that goes. But if not, then we're going to apply for Next Step. We just want to do one at a time. Kitty set up her IEP her freshman year around a college application. So we just went through all of the colleges that she wanted to apply for and went through the list to see what the qualifications were. So that's how we learned about them. So we had at our IEP meeting, we had all of the letter from the colleges stating what it would take to get in. So we've been working on this for the last 5 years.
Wow. Has Mackenzie always loved school, been excited about school?
Yeah, she has. And she's done much more than I ever did in high school. She really was able to accomplish a lot. And the kids, the students love her and she loves them. So yeah. And she went back this year for a victory lap. That's what we call it. And she was able to still keep her position as an ambassador, and she was still able to cheer. So that was good.
In terms of Rett syndrome, can you explain what that is and what apraxia is?
I was diagnosed with Rett syndrome at the age of 5. Rett syndrome is a neurodevelopmental disorder that affects girls almost exclusively. It is characterized by normal early growth and development followed by a slowing of development, loss of purposeful use of the hands, distinctive hand movements, slowed brain and head growth, problems with walking, seizures.
And so that's what Rett syndrome is. She was diagnosed at 5. And it's a diagnosis that girls usually have. Some boys do have it, but it's because of the X chromosome. Females have 2, and males only have 1. So girls usually have to make it off that one chromosome, operate off that one chromosome. So depending on how severe that chromosome was damaged, then that depends on how well the individual functions. Nothing was wrong at first. She started regressing in preschool.
Okay.
And what would happen was she used to be able to hold a sucker in her mouth, ride a tricycle, all of that. And then she started regressing. The X chromosome started going bad. So when you have Rett syndrome, you're normal at first. There's nothing wrong. And then your X chromosome goes bad and you start regressing. She's fortunate enough to walk. Most girls do not walk. They don't talk. They're fed through a tube. They have seizures. Some of them have heart murmurs. It's a pretty bad diagnosis to have. Well, we're fortunate. McKenzie does walk. She talks with the computer. She is able to feed herself through therapy. We've gone to therapy, speech, occupational, and physical therapy for the last 10 years.
Wow.
And it's made a big difference in our life.
Oh,
So she wants to tell you a little bit about her apraxia.
I decided long ago that Rett syndrome does not define me. I define Rett.
So she can ride a bike. She has an adapted bike. She rides, she cheers, she does public speaking events. She is getting ready to be on the girls softball team this year. She's going to throw out the first pitch for the softball team.
that's awesome.
And she works at the amazing Bubble Love.
Wow.
I mean, we walked on the job and we were going to see Peach several times at Bubble Love. So on our third time, we were taking her Valentine's Day present. And McKenzie asked the owner, she said, would it be possible for me to volunteer? I'm a great sign maker. I make beautiful signs. Could I volunteer and make a sign and stand outside the building and encourage people to come? She said, absolutely not. She said, you will bring your Big Mac switch in and you will come in. How many hours do you want? And I mean, just the opportunity, and allowed me to come back there until she gets to know her to help to make the transition smooth. I'll share with you a page that we made for Bubble Love that she uses at work.
Welcome to Bubble Love. How may we help you? Would you like a small or large cup? Are you having a good day? Thank you for stopping by.
So she'll sit there at the counter and she can greet people. She was hands-on. That was her first day, and she was determined that she was going to use the register that Peach uses and touch so they were doing hand over hand to ring up the drinks. I couldn't ask for a better place for my daughter to work. I'm just so grateful.
How does she keep up with everything? How does she stay motivated? Is she actually really happy and motivated?
She really is. We encourage a lot. And when people ask us, her and her father and I, is it hard? We always say no. Hard is something like trying to exercise every morning. Hard is something like eating right. But to us, we look at it as a challenge. And a challenge is something that you're always trying to conquer, something that you're always trying to make sure that the circumstances are better than what they were before, or to do new things. And so I can honestly say this about her. She's always up for something new, and we're big on encouraging. So when she cheers, we cheer, we make the signs. When she's going to play softball, we're going to be there cheering her on. And we've been practicing her therapist with her throwing the softball so that she can throw out the first pitch. Peach was very, amazing with helping us with the college process as far as doing mock sessions over the interview, encouraging McKenzie the night before, saying, you got it, girl, you got this. So she has an amazing group of people surrounding around her that have helped us be successful. So I'm grateful.
The other thing about McKenzie is she's attended DDH twice.
Yeah, she has. She's made several commercials. And she helped to make a video about her first time on Disability Day on the Hill. It was our first time attending Disability Day on the Hill, and we got to meet Representative Harold Love.
I see you guys are a part of a lot of organizations. Do you have a favorite? Does McKenzie have a favorite?
I think her favorite is Blue Care. Is Blue Care your favorite? She said yes. Now my favorite is the Kennedy Center. I love the Kennedy Center. We've just learned so much from them. They have so many resources. And they give me an opportunity to give back and to advocate for the public. So my favorite is the Kennedy Center.
That is so cool. We haven't had a participant talk about the Kennedy Center at all. Could you tell us a bit about the Kennedy Center and what they do? What they done for you?
The Vanderbilt Kennedy Center is absolutely amazing. McKenzie was diagnosed there with Rett syndrome. She was the first patient to go through the clinic. McKenzie started attending the clinic at 8 years old, and we just left last week, and she's 18, and to participate in another study that they're having at the Rett clinic. They also taught me how to advocate. I graduated from the advocacy class they offer, classes that they were taking on autism and stuff like that. I was able to attend. McKenzie was going to therapy at Vanderbilt for the last about 7 years. So we started with the PECS book, moved up to the device, learned how to use it at there. And just the Kennedy Center, just like I said, it has so much to offer. I mean, we don't discriminate. They don't care what gender you are, don't care what race you are. They're just, all they want to do is help. It's a wonderful place with a lot of knowledgeable people, and just, it's an open book. I mean, it's just so many resources that you could, actually use that'll benefit you. And I'm definitely one of the people that benefited from being part of the Kennedy Center.
Wow, that's awesome to hear. I'm glad that Kennedy Center is actually functioning, to accomplish its mission. Peach, did you have another question?
I have two questions in one. So how has the Partners in Policy class benefited you as a mom to McKenzie? And then two, what advice do you have for people like working with Rett Syndrome or Apraxia, and how can other organizations like the Coalition in the Arc Tennessee help with someone that has Rett Syndrome and Apraxia?
Okay, I'll answer the first one. Partners in Policies is something that I had longed to be a part of for a long time. I'm a big on learning. So the people that have come in and that have taught us things have been very knowledgeable. They have been, they've been very truthful. I love the fact that they're very truthful. They tell you we might be able to help you, we might not. I like that. I like that part of it. I also like the camaraderie we have as being in a group and able to talk and share. So that's what I like about Partners in Policies. And they taught me to look at a lot of things, like writing down our goals as far as what McKenzie's to do next and how to plan it out so that we can be successful with it. That was one of the big things I really loved about it. And the second thing I would say to help anybody, not just somebody with Rett syndrome, how to accommodate them, would be to give them opportunities, to always give them the benefit of the doubt and allow them to stretch, to just expound on who they are. Let me tell you, I love the art too, because we do speaking engagements for the art. And we go out, and we've been several times to different music venues that they have, and talk about how the ARC benefited us and helped us, really supported us with the cheering. The ARC paid for the uniforms, they paid for some signs for her to cheer. So they gave McKenzie, I believed in her and gave her opportunity. They've even written letters on tryout day. They wrote a letter for not only cheerleading, but for her to be an ambassador for the Metro Davidson County School. She's the first ambassador with exceptional needs in the Metro Nashville Public School System.
Wow, that is just phenomenal. Was McKenzie who introduced you into the rare disease world? Did you know about neurodevelopmental disorders?
I'm gonna tell you something. When I first heard about it, I thought she said Tourette's. She said no, Rett syndrome. So she did introduce me into this world. She really did open up a light that I had just in a world that I had never seen before. You know what I'm saying? I won't say I didn't see it. I just wasn't a part of it. And so now we embrace that. We're advocates for individuals. We go to meetings at schools. We help people come up with plans. We are role models. You know what I'm saying? I tell her all the time in the activities that she participates in, this is not just about you. We want this to be about other people who want to participate in extracurricular activities or want a job. So that question that Peach asked would be opportunities. Give each individual opportunities. The same opportunities you would give anybody that had just graduated from high school. Give them and pay them, like Peach says, a decent wage. So yes, that's how I could say any of the organizations could help, is to give them opportunities and stretch them. You know, who would have ever thought somebody that uses a communication ACC device would do public speaking? But she does. She goes and speaks in front of the Board of Education, and she let them know, I do not want my seat to be empty when I leave. I want there to be another individual with exceptional needs to take my place.
And one thing I never knew is what language should change in the dictionary.
Okay, if you notice this about me, Peach, and we talk every day about 4 or 5 times a day. I never use the word disabled. I never use the word special. I always say exceptional. I do. I don't care. That's my personal opinion. I just don't care for it. I always feel like everything that McKenzie does is an exceptional, and anybody else that's around her that has exceptional needs, I just feel like it takes so much to just for day-to-day things, let alone to do special things, that I just feel like it's exceptional. You know what I'm saying? So I was glad when they changed the verbiage at school from a special education classroom to the exceptional needs classroom. I like that.
Wow. And How was her experience?
McKenzie's always been fortunate enough. We fought for her to be in her gen ed classes with her typical peers. So she doesn't spend she doesn't spend any time in the exceptional education classroom. But she plays a pivotal part in it because her teacher, her exceptional education teacher, has to work hand in hand with the gen ed teacher to come up with her curriculum.
Add on to that, how do you think, like if you had a student with exceptional needs in your classroom, how do you think teachers should get them engaged? Because usually they're lonely and, you know, they need to get engaged in some way. Like, how do you think that student with exceptional needs should get engaged in the classroom without just sitting there raising their hand too many times?
Yeah, because how does she interact and how does the teachers facilitate that?
Okay, so let me tell you this. Let me give you an example. McKenzie took chemistry.
Chemistry.
So guess what McKenzie did? McKenzie made the study sheet for the chemistry test. She made it and they traced the cell. Then the teacher would use her poster in the class as a study guide for what the students should study. We would adapt her stuff to poster form. She was in an education class and they did they had a curriculum on money. They were doing it on money. So it had to be funny and it had to be tell us something that we didn't know about money, how money's used. So she loves Kevin Durant. That's her boo. So she dressed up, her and her best friend in their fur coat, and they walked in and played the song by Dion, Must Be the Money. And what she did was explain how much Kevin Durant made in coins. How many nickels does it take to buy Kevin Durant's house? How many quarters does it take to pay him his salary? Why were there ridges on the side of coins? So she made it funny, informative, and she presented it to the class. It hasn't always been like this. We did go through a horrific time in elementary school where they were taking McKenzie and putting her in a basement as a tantrum plan because they didn't know what to do with her, which is unacceptable. So for McKenzie to go from a student that they felt deserved nothing but to be in a basement, to go from that to becoming who she is today as a young woman, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the opportunities. I'm very grateful that they allowed me as a parent to play a role in it, to help her be successful with it, because I know they don't have a lot of time. I know they have a lot of students. So the teacher allowing me to help this be successful I'm grateful for that. And I'm also grateful even from the Bubble Up. We were trying to volunteer, but instead of volunteering, she saw employment. She saw, look, I want her to come and work. She's an asset. And to allow that, I'm grateful. And I pray for that for all individuals in some shape, form, or fashion, that they find their niche. It might not be cheering. It might not be Bubble Up. It might not be ambassador, but whatever that individual's niche is and what they're good at, I pray that there's doors that open for them and give them the same opportunities that have been allotted to us. She was running for office to be president. I asked one of the cheerleaders, I said, well, what do they say about McKenzie? And she said, they say, you mean McKenzie with the box that talks? It wasn't any stereotypes behind it or anything. It was just McKenzie with the box that talks. And she was voted sophomore vice president and junior and senior president.
McKenzie is just awesome. I'm so glad to hear she spent a lot of time in gen ed classrooms, because that's not the case for a lot of kids. But
you are so right. But we fight for that. And we help the teacher. We help the teacher to come up with a plan for individuals who do and are capable of going with their typical peers. We help them come up with a plan and help them come up with the curriculum for that. I'm gonna share this story with you. I know we've run out of time.
Oh, no worries.
It's very special to she and I. So every year, McKenzie would run for homecoming queen, for princess. She won her freshman year. She was runner-up her sophomore and junior. Her junior year, she was runner-up. She didn't win. But when it came down to coming home king, there had never been a gentleman that had ever run. So we ran a campaign for a gentleman in her class. His name was Devin. Devin was a senior at the time. Okay. Devin was running against a football player and a wrestler. We made posters for Devin. McKenzie put it on a Big Mac switch. She put it on, vote for Devin, go for Devin. Do you all know Devin won 80-10? Who've been waiting to vote for a Devin?
Wow.
How long have they been waiting? and never had the opportunity. The first male ever to win coming home that had exceptional needs.
And he beats the popular guys of school. Wow. That is so telling.
But Kenzie's also an entrepreneur. She owns Kenzie Boo Snow Cones. So she adapts parties for individuals with exceptional needs that want to have a party with their typical peers, or they might want to invite somebody that has exceptional needs to come. So that we adapt the party for that. Her dad is the Kenzie Boo Bear, and it's snow cones. And so we do snow cones, nachos, pizza, whatever you want. And so she's an entrepreneur too. She has her own little snow cone company. So we're looking to advance that too this summer, to be able to maybe go to some pop-up shops and stuff and set up for that.
Lots of things coming up for McKenzie. Does she have any siblings? I never asked.
No, she's the only child.
Okay.
Just like me.
Maybe
we're going to write a book about, we have 2 books that we're writing. One is her nieces and nephews are always asking me why McKenzie can't talk.
Okay.
Why McKenzie can't talk? Why McKenzie, is she frozen? Why she can't talk? So the first book is going to be why McKenzie can't talk. And then the second one is going to be how is she going to cheer? Because we would get out we've been cheering since she was in City League. So she's been cheering since elementary. She cheered for Una, then she cheered for Oliver Middle, and now she cheers for Whites Creek. And so every time we go to try out or to just, to be a part of the team, people always ask, how is she going to cheer? And my saying was just watch and see, watch and see. So every year we got better. The first year we put the cheers on the Toby, and so she could call the cheers out on the Toby. The second year she would actually go on the court at Oliver, and I would help her move her hands and stuff. So when we got to college, they were like, okay, Mom can't be on that court moving her hands. So we made signs. So we made 250 signs for her to cheer with and flip them. So McKenzie learned to hold the sign with Apraxia, to hold the sign and then flip it over for offense and defense. Loves the dancing dolls. Bring It. That's the name of the show. She loves them. So she got to go meet them. And then when we got back, she was like, I want to dance. So she joined a local dance group called Candy Coated Choreograph. We have a big shout out to Aubrey, who gave McKenzie an opportunity. She was the director and said yes, allowed her to come on and to be a part of the dance group.
Maybe 2 more questions. One, how do you think parents should, if they're nonverbal, how do you think parents should help their exceptional needs kid?
Find some way for them to communicate, whether it's with a PEX book, whether it's with a Big Mac switch, whether it's with a Toby, whether it's with a hipster. There are so many different forms, iPad, so many different ways to communicate. Find what works best for that individual. But everybody deserves to have a voice. So living in this world without a voice is, to me, is just that's hard. That's very hard. And that's when a lot of the behaviors come in, because they don't have choices and are not able to express how they feel. So I would just say, get with a good speech therapist or do your research and find out which ACC device best fits that individual.
Wow. Okay. I have just a few more questions. I know we've had McKenzie for a long time. I have so many questions. Okay. I know we talked about IEPs earlier. Now everyone knows about IEPs. So what are they? Does she sit in the meetings? Is it fully controlled by you? What's an IEP look like?
Okay. An IEP is an individual,
individual education program.
Right. IEP. So I'm sorry, I was just kind of late. But okay, so no, I don't run my IEP by myself. McKenzie plays a big part. She attends. I sit her Toby there and she responds back. And she lets them know what she likes and what she does not like. She's been sitting in her meetings since she was in middle school. She knows what she wants. She knows what she wants to do. So no, and I wouldn't say that I run it, because I have a phenomenal team and we work together. We literally set up goals for her to cheer, for her to become an ambassador, for her to attend college. We sat down as a team to set up these goals. So by the time her senior year came, we left no stone unturned to make sure that McKenzie could fill out an application and be a good candidate for someone's college. Good, you know what I'm saying? So we worked as a team. I haven't always had a good IEP team, but I can actually say the ones that I had at Oliver and Whites Creek were phenomenal, and they followed her through. She has an OT that has been her same OT, and this is usually unheard of in the school system since middle school.
Wow.
So when McKenzie got the job, I texted everybody and sent them pictures telling them thank you, because you played a huge role in McKenzie becoming employed. And even to this day, they are practicing at school. I send snacks to practice, and they come up to the table and they act like it's Bubble Love. And McKenzie's like, welcome to Bubble Love. And she gives them a drink. So even at school, practicing for her to be successful tonight when she goes to work.
Wow.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes.
And if you can get you a good team that's invested and they're able to see the success that's going on, it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing.
I want you all to know what an honor it is to be on Not So Speechless.
Oh, thank you so much, McKenzie. It was lovely having you. Really, I'm honestly at a loss for words here. And again, I speak with a lot of families, but you really have an amazing story here. And McKenzie needs to be heard. I can tell she just has a lot of things to say. So, wow.
And like I said, we are grateful for this opportunity. You all are so brave. People have been telling McKenzie and I that we need to do this, and we just haven't had the courage to step off the porch. But for you to start this and give this platform to individuals like us, I am just so proud of you all. You're talented and smart and intelligent, and you have empathy for other people, and that's just amazing.
Also, I just want to say, as Mackenzie's best friend, thank you, Mackenzie. Even if it's been hard, even if it's been tough, even when I'm frustrated, you have been there for me since day one. And I really appreciate what you do. And thanks for starting this new chapter, and thanks for being on a hard road with me, even when I start breaking down.
She said, you too, Peach, because you have definitely been there for me. When I tell you, I tell my husband, it's like having a personal, it's like having a tour guide to go with you to Disney World. And you know how big Disney World is, so much to get into. You have definitely been my tour guide through through the next part of our journey, starting out. I mean, and guess what? And I will take everything you've taught me and I will bless somebody else and be that same tour guide to them, because this is not easy. With us leaving high school soon, it's a whole new world. It's a whole new world.
Thank you, and I'm so glad that me and Jeff can introduce you to the Disability Coalition, the Arc of Tennessee. We're so glad we can help out.
One of the best things about this is the friendship that has come. For you all to be able to exchange gifts and talk on the phone, and even though I help to interpret, you know what I'm saying, back and forth, you still don't let that stand in the way of her being your best friend. You know what I'm saying? You still check on her, you still encourage her, you do the things that best friends would do, all the way from getting a job together. Who wouldn't want to work with their best friend? I mean, that's
he decided to start this podcast with me. We want to tell other people's stories, including Mackenzie's, in the right way.
Yeah. Well, I love it, and we will help y'all in any way that we can. If you have some more stories you'd like us to talk about, she's going to vote for the first time. So if you all want to talk later on, I'll take some videos of her going to the voting booth, because she's going to go vote for the first time. So we're going to do our research and find out how to accommodate McKenzie being nonverbal, and to use her stamp to sign her name. She has a stamp to sign her name with, and all of how those accommodations work, so that we can help somebody else who might be nonverbal or not capable of writing to be able to still go and vote, because their vote counts too.
Can't wait to follow up with you guys. We can possibly shoot a part 2. I don't want to keep you too long. Thank you again so much for meeting with us. McKenzie, it was so nice to meet you. Does she have anything else that she wants to share about herself or say before we go?
Any last minute questions you want to ask?
Well, Elijah, I just have one question for you. If you could ask parents, what would you ask? Being a teacher, what do you need from parents?
Ooh, okay. The biggest thing I can say, patient and finding a way to communicate with the child, finding a unique program that matches their strengths, like just parents coming in with an open mind. Really, that's important to me. Excuse me, because I know some parents come in like, yeah, no, she's nonverbal. She won't talk to you ever, and she's not communicating. I'm like, no, she is communicating. Look at her eyes when you say certain things. Look at her eyebrows. look at our
Right.
movement. So I just need a parent to come in open-minded. Thank you for that question. I would say just open-mindedness is really important.
And I think as a student that's been in so many special ed classes at Vanderbilt, I would just say learn as much as you can. You can never stop learning. Like,
Right. You're right. I agree. Well, thank you all for the opportunity, and it was nice meeting you, Elijah. And I look forward to us working, maybe working together in the future on some topics.
Yes, I look forward to it as well. So everyone have a good day. Nice to meet you all again. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.